Hi guys, just on here talking about tools for life. If you were brought up in a house that you didn't get very much training on, how to proceed in life, you're sort of blinded, um, and you don't know what you're doing. You get out of high school, and then all of a sudden you're slapped into reality, and go off you go. Pick what you need to do this, do that, and then all of a sudden you have no idea, unless you had a family that actually, you see these people and you see these families that like they they're structurally sound. They have a mother, they have a father. They're they were in a loving home. They knew they were probably going to college or university. They knew they would be doing this. They had a good education. They were just brought up very well. You don't even have to go to uni, or as you say, college. You don't have to do that. Um, it's more the fact that they just were brought up such in a functional home that they turned out to be, functional people. And it's okay if you didn't have that. So this is where I say to you, get a toolbox, a life toolbox, where you go. Some guys and women have anger management problems. So what do? You go out there and you do some research, watch Jordan Peterson, heal in the way of like knowing that you don't like something. So what do? You go change. You work out how to change, and you work out how to have patience. You work on patience. The number one thing for a man, if you don't have patience and you feel yourself boiling up all the time, you need to work on patience. So you need your toolkit. You need to go get that tool. You need to work on it, and you need to work on it for a long time until you succeed at that. Maybe that's the first thing you should do. But as I said, if you've had a life that you've just had there's no one to give you any direction, or you had nobody to actually say, hey, this is how you do it. I remember being like in my teens, my dad would talk a lot, but I remember really didn't know what I was doing. And in my 20s, I fell into things. In my teens. I realized that when I was younger, I had no idea. I really didn't. My older sister, Kathy, she did. She was amazing. She wanted something, she'd go for it. She'd get it. She had a toolkit of her own at, I think, 12. She was very structured in that. She just knew what she wanted. She worked at it. And she made me think that she knew what she was doing. But she said, no, I had to work at it. So I want you to work at it. I didn't work at it. I just kicked rocks down the road until things slapped me in the face, and I had to have come to reality. So I want you not to be that. I want you to go and put the light on. I want you to go and go, as I said, and get your toolkit. If you don't want to have anger management problems, go get that. If you wanted to have more patience, go research that. And as I said, the number one thing you do the patience thing first. If you don't want to be lazy, get up early, right? Do these things, get the toolkit going, research them, tick them off, and fake it till you make it, over and over and over again. Smile while you're doing it. Take your time. Learn these things, because I'll tell you, if you don't learn them and you just let life happen to you, it's a hard life, right? Don't let people say, oh, well, I didn't choose that. Guess what you did? You didn't choose it, but you let someone else choose it for you, because by not choosing, they chose for you, which made it you being, you chose it. You chose it because you let them choose. So in that, you chose to be weak or not bother or complacent or didn't like confrontation. Whatever it is, you did it. You chose by not choosing. So start choosing things. Be attentive. And you know what? Another thing. Don't live in that thing and learn the word no. Learn the word no. I had a friend once, and she would say to me, oh, please, can you do this? I think it was in my 20s, early 30s. She'd say, can you please do this for me? Can you please do that for me? And I'd be like, oh, I've got a doctor's appointment. I've had it for 3 months. And, this woman would say, not that she asked me for much every day, but one day she asked me and she said, can you do this? It's on this day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got an appointment I've had for 3 months. I could not say no to anybody. I was a doormat. I could not say no to anybody. And I remember thinking in my brain, oh gosh, I've got that appointment, it's 3 months, but she really needs this. So, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to cancel my appointment and to help her out with this. I went and cancelled my appointment, and about a week later I said, so that thing that blah, 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 blah. She goes, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm not doing that now. And that was it. It went from being so important to her to she just cancelled it and was like, it was no big deal. So what I'm saying, don't be a doormat. Learn how to say no. Practice it. Practice nope, no, sorry, or let me think about it. This is the best one, because people that push you, this is the best one. Say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you later. And then you can retreat a bit, and that anxiety of not having to say just no straight away will go away. I mean, it'll give you time to be able to say no, but just practice saying no. And yeah, so that's one big thing I would say. Practice saying no. And yeah, I'm just thinking, like, what else is there? There's nothing else I could think of. Anyway, have a good night, guys.